Hello, my name is l.mca, and this is my presentation on muscle fibers. So there's two types of muscle fibers. There's type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers. Type 2 can be broken down. It's broken down into type 2A and type 2X, which is also known as type 2B. Separating the fibers. Type 1 muscle fibers are characterized by low speed in production, yet high endurance. Type 2X muscle fibers are known for having high force, power, and speed production with low endurance, and type 2A is between the two. Type 1 muscle fibers are abundant in distance runners. Type 2A are abundant in weightlifters, and type 2X in powerlifters. Type 1 muscle fibers. Type 1 muscle fibers have a large content of mitochondria. They are slow twitch muscle fibers. They are fatigue resistant, and they produce energy through the oxidative system. Since type 1 muscle fibers have a greater content of mitochondria, they make a lot of energy through the mitochondria. The color is red. The contraction speed is slow because it takes a while to make the energy. The conduction velocity is slow twitch. The activity is aerobic. Duration is long. Type 1 muscle fibers are very fatigue resistant, and their power is strong, however, non-explosive. Type 1 muscle fibers use their storage in triglycerides, which is fat. They produce more energy from oxygen through the oxidative system than type 2 muscle fibers. Use of the muscle fiber. Type 1 muscle fibers are used at all times. They provide energy to support structures of our bodies. They're active really at all times when standing, walking, or running, for example, a marathon runner. Examples of the fibers at work. They're used for distance runners, stabilizing muscles, and walking. Stabilizing muscles like the ones in our back are an example of type 1 muscle fibers at work. Type 2A muscle fibers. They are known as fast twitch oxidative. They contain high amounts of myoglobin. They have a high capacity for generating ATP, and they are more resistant to fatigue than type 2X muscle fibers. So of the type 2 muscle fibers, type 2A is definitely the more fatigue resistant fiber. Their color is white. The contraction speed is fast. The conduction velocity is fast twitch. The activity is anaerobic. They undergo short anaerobic respiration due to less easily fatigued mitochondria through the absence of oxygen. Their power is weak, and their storage is ATP, creatine phosphate, which has a phosphate group that is donated to create energy. An example of these fibers working would be when you reach out to shake someone's hand, the fibers are at work. Use of muscle fiber. They are used when lifting weights at a moderate rate and weight. They are active during some running activities. They are non-explosive, however, still useful for strength. Further examples are deadlifts, or really any lift with a moderate weight for high reps. Type 2A muscle fibers are at work during a 300 to 600 meter distance run. And basketball players is an example of someone with an abundant type 2A muscle fiber. Moving on to type 2X muscle fibers. Type 2X muscle fibers are known as fast twitch glycolic. They have a low content of myoglobin and large amounts of glycogen. Use of the muscle fiber. They're used during short duration, high intensity activities. They're at work during maximum or near maximum lifts. They use the ATP PCR system. An example would be power lifts or short sprints. A side note about type 2X muscle fibers is that they impact the ATP PCR system, as I said in the slide before. So, an interesting fact I came across while researching was that creatine, a substance commonly taken by people trying to gain muscle hypertrophy, which is muscle mass, creatine actually does not do as much as people think for the whole muscle mass gaining thing. Creatine actually impacts the ATP PCR system more. So it would be very useful for a power lifter or a sprinter, like a 55-meter sprinter. That's because the initial burst of ATP PCR uses that creatine, which is also naturally found in the body. And that really helps with that initial burst. My sources used are as shown here. A great source was a video I found on Khan Academy that really split up the type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers. So if you want to research any more, I would highly suggest that. And another great website that I found was the slow twitch versus fast twitch that really helps separate the type 2A and type 2X muscle fibers. And another page of sources here. And that's all. Thank you.